There are improvement works ahead, so this train will terminate at the next station.
Fake news, folks. Fake news.
Why so serious?
How about that?
Are you Muslim?
He should have been slapped as a child. He's a spoiled little Greek brat who's probably been treated like a prince.
I'm not a crook.
And that is just, that's comedy gold. Can I tempt you for a glass of water?
What was I saying before, over and over again, before we got here? I kept saying personal something. What was it? Oh, I kept going hotspot.
Oh,
personal
hotspot.
Why? Hotspot. Personal hotspot. Hang on, wait. I got to pump these volumes up. Get these rookie numbers up. Hang on. What's this? Behringer. Oh, that's the other mic. I think we're good.
Man, I've been getting some real random recommendations for YouTube. And last night, I got like a 15-second movie clip, no, about 45-second movie clip from the 80s with Roddy Piper. I think it was him. I haven't.
He's in a movie, right?
I think it's called They Live, something like that.
Piper?
He's in a few movies,
I
right?
think it's called They Live. There's like aliens in humans' bodies. That's just from what I gathered. I don't know why I got this clip recommended. I checked it out, of course. Typical 80s like action B-grade movie.
Wait, this was on Netflix?
No, on YouTube. Just a random recommendation.
I don't know. I've given you know the other day when you cracked it and you said get an ad blocker on your YouTube app?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have ad blockers on everything except for my phone because you can't actually get an ad blocker on your phone.
You can. You just got to use a different browser. You
got to use a different
You use
app.
it through a browser.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you don't use the actual app.
Pain in the ass. Like,
Well, not necessarily. You just have it so that it opens up by default onto YouTube as your homepage. And you're there already.
why has he got this little smirk on his face?
No, it is annoying.
It is, yeah.
Because every time you open something, it's probably going to force the app to open.
Yeah, I was going to say, because like, if anyone's going to complain about that kind of thing, it's going to be him.
You can just
Because
uninstall
it's
the
just
app.
like an extra 10 microseconds out of his day, but he'll be like the,
Well, like, yeah, watching it.
I've got to copy the link.
No, I'm serious. You're the type of person that will do that. That's the funny
It's annoying. It is annoying. I hate it.
Yeah. So Rowdy Roddy Piper, what?
I don't know. I have no idea. He just walks into a bank with like two shotties. And everyone's like,
Even
what's he
incorporate
doing here?
wrestling into it. It's just
No, he just walks in with two shotties. Like, everybody's like looking at him, waiting for him to say something.
imagine the trailer. It's like Daniel Day-Lewis, Nicole Kidman, and Rowdy Roddy Piper. Love tale. It makes no sense. Hang on, Rowdy. What's his actual name?
Isn't that his real name?
I don't know. I think his daughter started wrestling too, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure if his daughter started.
Oh, no, it wasn't his daughter.
What's her name?
Yeah,
the MMA, UFC.
We've got to turn this down a little bit.
Just turn your volume down from there.
What am I?
Well, follow your cord to your headphones.
Number 4. Yeah, that one.
There you go. See, because I can't hear anything. Maybe it's just the headphones.
I can hear like a background, like shh.
Yeah,
like
the shh is from that. You can turn yours down if you want to. I don't care. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm not a little bitch.
Do you know where? Do you know where Rowdy Roddy Piper was from?
Wait, is it going down?
Michigan.
No.
Detroit. That's the same place.
That's the same.
Anchorage. No.
Where's Anchorage?
Alaska.
Nice.
How'd you get to Anchorage?
I'm just naming all the places we used to have our wrestlers from.
No, you always used to have yours from Nevada.
Yeah, that was 8-ball.
Yeah.
But everyone else,
or
like...
parts unknown.
Parts unknown, yeah.
No, he's from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Wow.
He's Canadian.
Yeah.
But he played as Scott.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Build from Glasgow, Scotland. He never spoke with a Scottish accent, though, did he? I don't remember him. No, he just wore the kilt.
I think he put on a tiny bit of an accent. I don't think that's his real voice that he uses.
I just remember that NWO invasion. It was like, you're a liar! And then, like, Bischoff is staring at him. And then Nash comes in and kicks the shit out of him. Hang on. No, Rousey. Ronda Rousey was
That's her name,
got the name Rowdy Ronda Rousey when she joined the WWE, and she wore his jacket. And
I don't know how long she was on there. I haven't.
That was just a cash thing.
Yeah, of course.
She was apparently all right as a wrestler. I mean,
is she still fighting?
Nah. Dude, after she
Finished.
got the shit kicked out of her, that was it.
What's his name is still fighting, though? The Irish dude. What's his name?
McGregor?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I
he
saw
was.
something.
He just fought recently.
He's being billed as a fight coming. But,
he just had a fight.
He fought.
Yeah.
He was in a fight recently, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he lost. He got his
No.
leg broken.
After that.
No.
Oh, yeah, no, that was the fight.
The last
Sorry, that
fight
was
he
the
had
fight.
was when he got his leg broken.
Yeah, that was the one.
I saw that, not expecting it to break.
I did not think so, man. Because his leg got hacked in the fight previously, so he thought he'd have like some sort of defense for it, but yeah, he didn't. Hey, I'm just going to sit back.
Yes.
What is this? Oh, you've got all the slack.
No, it's coming. You got to go over the monitor. That's new, that monitor.
Actually, I had this sitting at home. I bought it one day randomly on like Gumtree or something for like $20. Didn't realise how small it was. I bought it from a guy in Brighton.
Yeah.
Pulled up to his house. He was a young kid, and he lived in like a McMansion, like somewhere behind Dendy Street. And I've just pulled up, and he sort of like came to the gate and like kept looking over the fence. And I'm like, "Hey mate, how are you?" He didn't even say a word to me. He just handed me the monitor. Like he held the monitor up, but waited for his 20 to come across first. And I'm like, "Thanks, man." He like, legit did not say a word to me the entire transaction. I remember it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not some bum buying a monitor off you. Like,
Well,
Daddy. No, but he was young. I'm like,
there's two. What you didn't see was there was two security guards behind him in suits and shades, just waiting. They were prowling in the bushes.
movement on the left. Copy that stat.
He's got the 20. He's got the 20.
Hey. Oh, you know what I thought of the other day? Who was I with yesterday? Was it yesterday? What was I doing yesterday? I was talking to someone. Fuck, I've actually gone completely blank. I can't remember who the fuck I was talking to, but I mentioned The Rock.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that rap track that he did with Tech Nine.
Oh, Jesus.
He repeated the words, Dwayne The Rock Johnson did a rap track. I'm like, yes, I'm part of that thing.
You know what? I didn't.
Tattooist. That's who I was with. Because me and him always talk hip hop, and I just said something about The Rock. He's like, what? It's like The Rock. Yeah, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Okay, yes, he's on a rap track with Tech Nine. Why? I'm like,
Why?
tell me. No, did anyone see anything about it?
What do you mean?
Like about that track? Like, did anyone?
I didn't realise what it was about because I watched like the first 10 seconds of that video. Then I realised it was like, it was hip hop. I'm like, I just closed it. Then only after your messages started coming through about Triple Threat or whatever, I'm like, what? Then I went through, I'm like, that explains it.
It's an ad. I reckon. I don't know this.
Well, they need to pull out as a monster at the end.
Well, he did.
And I get pumped.
He
A
pulled
monster
out his
drink.
tequila.
What?
He pulled out his tequila and he drank from it.
Did he?
That's his brand of tequila.
I didn't even see that.
Yep, that's the drink he drinks right at the end when he's on.
Yeah.
I swear he's advertising his own tequila. That's the only reason he's on there.
It's shit, isn't it?
Probably.
Like, it's not just me. Because,
Oh no, it's trash. Yeah.
Because the internet blew up. Like, I literally jumped on Twitter and Insta. Yeah, it's like, is there nothing this man can't do? I'm like, what are you talking about? It's just like
5 lines.
spoken word. Yeah. His verse is like a tenth of everyone else's.
He's so big that he was out of breath in the first sentence. Give my tequila. The eyebrow part was his breather. He's like, oh, thank fuck.
No, but it was shit, yeah? I'm
It
not
was
just a
trash.
hater.
No, it was
and I
right.
like The Rock. But, like, the thing is they've put him on there for whatever, it's not a cash grab. Tech Nine's got enough publicity. But he had 2 other indie artists on the same track. Why wouldn't you put a third indie artist on there?
Yeah, it's weird.
Why would you waste that spot on The Rock? And it was garbage. Like,
Yeah.
as an artist, wouldn't Tech Nine lose integrity now?
I would think so.
Seriously, because
I look down on him.
he used to push like a brand of hip hop that was not commercial.
Unique. It was unique. Yeah.
He's the big. For a bit of backstory, Tech Nine is like the biggest independent hip hop artist on the planet. When the Forbes list of like top 20 rappers and stuff come up, he would come in at like number 11.
He's like dark rap.
Yeah.
He's like dark hip hop, dark rap.
Yeah. He's got like a lot of references to like a cult and like, really technical wordplay and all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
He used to wear like face paint.
Okay.
Yeah. But like he would come up in that top Forbes top 20 hip hop artists, even though he's an independent, because he tours like relentlessly. Like I've seen him once or twice in Melbourne.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So he's someone that has literally bred like unique artists from the ground up. Why would you put The Rock on?
Yeah.
Advertising tequila.
He gave him.
But as someone, as an independent like artist, going for somebody that's like using somebody that's like
doesn't need it.
a big
Doesn't
household
need it, man.
name.
He's
That
done
would
it-
be contrary to the
He did a
independent
track
way,
with
wouldn't it?
Eminem, like Tectonic.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's an independent label artist. Like he started his own label.
Oh, okay.
But he
collabs with, like, mainstream.
Yeah,
He
he's
collabs with
recognised by big
mainstream.
boys.
Okay,
Yeah.
alright.
He's been around for a long time.
Yeah, years.
Okay.
Years.
Yeah.
Shit, yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't. Oh, yeah. I wouldn't know.
I don't know. I thought of you the last couple of days, all the Dave Chappelle shit that's coming out.
Oh, man.
I just watched it the other night when
I haven't
messaged
watched
you
it
guys.
yet.
You got to get on it.
Okay, hang on.
So, all right. Yeah.
Did you see his rebuttal statement that came out today?
Yes. Yep. Yep.
Isn't that he mentioned the comedian that you were watching?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Take it from the top.
All right.
Because I don't know. I don't know.
So Dave Chappelle
Hey,
did a
hang
stand
on,
up.
Wait.
Let me hold on.
Hotspot? Personal hotspot.
So he does his stand up, okay? He bags plenty of people in there, and of course the two lines that are in there, he has his dig as well at apparently there's another 3 letters in there now, but
What?
so with the LGBT,
So I haven't watched it, so you got to start.
so like now there's like another 4 letters in there. There's 2. There's
Did we read the same article?
possibly I don't know.
And they had like plus at the front
Yeah,
of
yeah.
it and
Plus- plus
JB.
goes-
Plus goes at the end, doesn't it?
No, now there's another one at the front.
I think or a 2 or something.
JBZ
Yeah,
or something.
yeah. But anyway, he just says what he says, and essentially there's a line where he goes, "This rapper." This is right at the start, so it's there's a rapper called The Baby,
Yeah, the baby.
and he shot someone in a Walmart.
Yeah.
Okay, nothing happened to this guy's career. He straight up killed someone in a Walmart. Nothing happened
no
to
reason.
Him. Apparently it was self-defense,
I mean,
but he still killed a person.
There was no reason to it.
Yeah. And then he goes, well, what does that tell you about our society today? He goes, you can shoot a person in Walmart, kill them, and nothing will happen to your career. But if you offend a gay person, your career's over. Mm-hmm. You can't make a joke about them. And then he goes, what does that tell you about our society today?
Okay, so is that the end of the comment, or does he keep
That's
going?
one of the comments. And then he says another
That was
one
the
later.
opener, right?
That was an opener,
Yeah, it kind of led into the next thing.
Yeah, but he goes on, like, there's stories in there, and he's talking about some relationships he's had with some people that, been affected by all this and so forth. And he...
I like your spoiler-free explanation.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And
Spoiler free.
It is. He's spoiler-freed it. Good job.
then he goes on about J.K. Rowling, how, basically, like... they turned on her because she's a feminist and so forth or whatever.
Did they? I've got no idea.
Feminists and...
They ruined her,
Yeah, the feminists and...
They
I don't know if it's...
ruined her.
I don't know if...
Hasn't she made like $1 billion from Harry Potter books?
Yeah,
Yeah.
did.
But they've ruined her.
They've ruined her
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
They're going to pull the Harry Potter books.
Well, they've changed...
No, they did, didn't they? They took her books off the shelves.
They've taken her books
They
off
actually
shelves,
took 'em off
and
shelves.
they've actually changed, like you pay money, you get a wing named after you and stuff like that, or schools. They've renamed schools and wings that were named after her to other things now.
In light of new evidence against J.K. Rowling, we're removing her name off the wing and restoring its former name, the Benito Mussolini wing.
And Pavarotti comes on in the back.
down the hallway.
Who steps down the hallways?
Oh, man.
We're talking
love
about
it.
people getting cancelled. I just made a Benito Mussolini joke. 5 minutes in. Okay, continue.
And so he does all that. The next day, everybody comes out and basically loses their minds, and they're like, he's transphobic and this and that and all that. And
There's more to it, by the way.
There's
It's not
Netflix
just that.
employees. Apparently, there was going to be 1,000 of them that were threatening to basically walk out on a
many was
strike,
there
and it was
in the end?
like 50 of them. And then, like, one guy counter-protested them that had a sign that said, "We love Dave," and they assaulted him, took his sign, broke it, and then they gave him the shaft of the stick back, and then they said, "Oh, he's got a weapon," because there were police there, and they were hoping that they'd shoot him.
Wow. Okay.
And then they assaulted him and his friend, and then there's like,
Wait, so the trans protesters assaulted a guy
yeah.
that's picking one sign.
And these
love you, Dave.
these are Netflix employees.
Okay.
And then they're in his face with a tambourine, slamming it, screaming "repent" and all that stuff. And then basically they attack the president of Netflix, and they're saying like, "How can you, we demand that you take off his special, because it's transphobic and it's not in view of what Netflix is." then the president comes out and says, well, actually, you know, at Netflix, we have a diverse volume of entertainment for everybody, from Dave Chappelle to, I can't remember what other shows he said, stand-up, whatever, I don't know what it was. And he goes, and also Hannah Gatsby. And because her name was mentioned, she comes out and I think she tweets or it was on Instagram or whatever, and she goes, "Oh, don't get me involved in your bad decisions and involved with Dave Chappelle's stunted look at the world, like stunted view of the world." And
Dave Chappelle has a stunted view of the world.
Yeah, that's what she's come out and said.
Wow.
And then
she's pretty progressive.
Yeah.
As a black Muslim,
he admits it too.
I thought a black Muslim married to an Asian. I thought that would be pretty progressive.
Apparently, it's not. And he gets into it. There's plenty of stuff he says in it.
Okay,
I can't remember word for word yet.
Why not?
What it is?
I mean,
I
I thought that the biggest thing, and again, it's kind of hard to talk about because I don't want to spoil it, but was at the end. Like, that seemed like the biggest.
That's it, and that's
huge.
That's
attack.
what sums it up, and that's what it is. But
why would they? The thing is, I don't understand why they would be angry about that. He was just telling.
They're not angry
his
about
side
that.
Of his story.
They're angry about the fact that he calls himself a TERF. That's what they're angry about.
What is a TERF?
Apparently, it's.
How about I just instead of your apparently?
They've called J.K. Rowling a TERF, and he goes, "If that's what she is, then so am I."
Okay, so how do you spell TERF?
TERF. Okay. It's an acronym.
He explains it, but I can't remember.
You know, that sounds like a comic. That sounds like a cartoon on like Channel 10 on Saturday, like at 6 a.m. TERF, and then like I don't know.
TERF TV.
So I was like,
weird and wacky wild adventures on TERF TV. Slimers.
I'm expecting like a Transformers commercial from the 80s.
Autobots.
Decepticons. With that
Slimers.
Oh man, they killed it. Oh man.
You know what's fried, man?
What?
Like, we grew up like playing with Transformers, yeah? I never watched the movies, but I remember the cartoon.
Yeah.
For some reason, when I think of Transformers, my first go-to is the Family Guy Optimus Prime. And they go to the synagogue. Optimus Prime? That's Jewish? All right, hang on.
Oh man.
TERF is an acronym for Trans Exclusionary Radical Feminist.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get you the full meaning in a second.
And he goes,
hang on.
he comes.
For context, the term originally applied to the minority of feminists espousing sentiments that other feminists consider transphobic, such as the rejection of the assertion that trans women are women, the exclusion of trans women from women's spaces, and opposition to transgender rights legislation.
Oh yeah, and his other line was, one of the main ones they're also pissed off about is because he goes, as a fact, everybody in this room and everybody in the world, when they were born, came out of a woman.
Yeah, I saw that remark. It was, gender is real, and the fact that everyone in this room has passed through the legs of a woman.
Because now a lot of language, not so much, I haven't seen it here yet, but a lot of language now coming out of America is, especially when it was all about that Texas abortion law, a lot of YouTubes were showing up on, a lot of videos on YouTube were showing up, and a lot of the senators were coming out saying birthing people.
Yeah.
And people people can have babies. Like they're specifically using the language that applies to basically generalizing, so that way trans people, a trans woman, is that how you would say it?
Depends which way they're coming from.
Oh, you mean a
trans man can have a baby, so therefore a man can have a baby.
Okay, so they want to.
So they're using they're changing language to apply to make it more appropriate. So that way they're saying, birthing people, men can have babies
as opposed to women giving birth. It's now people that can give birth.
Yeah,
and whether it's a man or a woman is up to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And so that's it. Yeah, so that was one of the that's I think the biggest one as well. Him saying everybody in this room came out of a woman.
Did you see his response?
Yeah, he came out and he said if it gets taken from Netflix, I'm going to take this video on a world tour, on an American tour.
Hang on.
And then he said something else today. I can't remember what it was now. It was
Now, his comments. Hang on, I've got it. Is this it? I think this is it. Hang on. This is an ad.
So I, after seeing this comment from this Hannah Gadsby, I was like, oh, she's stand-up. I've got to watch her stuff. Apparently, she's the brightest star in Australian comedy.
Never heard of her.
Neither had I till 3 days ago.
Neither had I.
So I had I've watched her stand up over 3 days now, bit by bit, and I'd have to say if she's the brightest star in Australian comedy, I'd have to say the Southern Cross has never been darker.
Oh, he's been thinking.
Worked on that line, man.
He's like, what time are we doing the podcast?
It's 6 o'clock.
Dude, he had that one in the pantry for the last week.
He's just Googling.
It came off the cup.
He's just Googling stars in the sky. Something
I need a good metaphor here.
I was waiting to laugh.
Scene.
I was waiting to laugh in that. I was like, when are the jokes being made?
What? Well, so give me something. From
There's
there.
none.
No.
There's
So
none.
what's the content?
The content is self-deprecating lesbian.
So everyone else, so all the other females that pretty much do stand up, mostly.
No,
a lot.
Hang on.
That was a lot of the start, though. That was a lot of the
Wait a
start.
second.
That was a lot of the start of it.
Wait a second. Hang on. First, there's a greater argument to be had here. Can women be stand-ups? Successful stand-ups? Can you...
From what I've seen, no.
Off the top of your head, hang on, before you get cancelled altogether and I've got people outside saying get rid of that.
Bring money. Bring lots of money. We need it.
Hang on. Honestly, can you think of 3 female comedians that have done stand-up specifically, even if it was at the start of their career?
I can think of 3 female comedians, but is that what you want to hear? Or 3 female comedians that have had a funny stand-up show?
Yeah.
To be honest, I haven't...
No, I can't.
I probably haven't watched enough of it.
That's fair.
I'm not going to rule them all out.
Of course you're not going to rule them all out.
I'm sure there is
No,
someone.
of course not.
I would like to know a name if you have one, and then I'll go and do some research and rethink my decisions.
Okay.
I mean, I've gotten...
Off the top of my head, Ellen DeGeneres was a stand-up comedian before she became Ellen.
I've never watched their stuff.
I've watched her stand-up, and I'll be honest, man, I actually liked her when she was in movies. Remember she was in EdTV?
Oh, yeah.
She was actually funny in that. And she did a stand-up like 2 years ago,
Okay.
possibly 2 years ago, and it was like her return to comedy. And there was a big thing about, like, she said it herself. She starts off her show by saying, you know, I don't even know if I can do it anymore. Like, am I still funny? Am I relatable? Because she makes a lot of jokes about being super rich and, like, you know what I mean? And it was funny. It wasn't the funniest thing I've ever seen, but it was funny. And when I compared it to, say, at that time, I watched a whole bunch of stand-ups. I watched a bunch of Chris Rock specials. That Fluffy, what's his name? That comedian Fluffy.
Gabriel Iglesias.
Yeah. I don't think he's funny.
I don't think
He
it's
was
funny
good
either.
at the start. His first couple were good because he did a lot of voices in his sets.
Ah, okay.
But his last 2, I don't think were particularly funny.
Okay.
Not memorable.
So-
Not my style.
I don't think it was funny, right? People have sworn by him. I don't think he's funny. Ellen DeGeneres is the first one I can think of. Janine Garofalo was another one. But they were both the same era, like mid-90s, late 90s. Yeah? During Janine Garofalo.
I know.
yeah.
Yeah, you do. She was in Dogma. She was in Seinfeld. She was the woman that Jerry
She was like
engaged
another.
to.
Yeah, she was another Jerry.
Yeah.
yeah.
What was her name? Jeannie Steinman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know she had a full career.
She like perpetuated that massive like anti like just talked about her period and like was really raw.
Oh, so she started it.
Yeah, she was a first.
Oh, well, good on you, woman, for ruining comedy for all the other women.
Fuck off. All right. Now,
Isn't there like a long-standing joke that's all they talk about?
there is.
Yeah.
Now, hang on. I remember at the same time, when I was watching all these stand-ups on Netflix, there was one woman, I can't remember her name. She's Asian. I think she's Chinese.
Oh,
I know what he's talking about too.
yeah, I know it. She
got
made she's got a movie with the one with Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves is in it. Yeah, that's right.
And he's like crying as he's eating it. It was that
He
meme
plays
with him
a-
drinking.
he does a
He
piss
plays
take of
himself.
himself,
Yeah.
Always Be My Maybe. That's the name of the movie.
Yeah.
I've not seen it.
It's a good movie. All right, it's a rom-com. It's a rom-com, but it is a funny movie, right? And she does make like it's not like she just tags on. She's the main,
I like her.
I liked her in that movie.
I haven't seen any of her stand up.
Dude, I liked her in that movie. I didn't like her stand up. I watched one of them, and I was like, this isn't actually funny.
Why? What did she say? Do you remember?
She wasn't funny. Like,
what are these jokes that they're making that are, like, give me an example.
and you know what, man? I know a lot of funny women that I think should do stand-up. I mean, I know a few women that do stand-up, right? It's not about women not being able to be funny.
It's your content.
But
yeah,
your content has to be relatable.
I feel like the marketing teams and the agents and the producers are all pushing the same narrative with all these comedians. And they just they literally do a line down the middle, and it's like, okay, so you've got to be sort of fat and have that as the punchline, or move away and be, gay and have that as the punchline, and then somewhere meet in the middle, that perfect. What's that name of that diagram with all the circles, and then there's that perfect nucleus.
Oh yeah,
in the middle. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And it's like they try and find that line of like, okay, so she's sort of gay, sort of fat, and sort of quirky. Let's just find that. It's like, and that's what they box him into. It's like you can't just be a normal person, as in like, with no archetype behind you.
Yeah.
That they're going to slag you for. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, it's... Okay.
I remember starting to watch... I started watching... I think it was a Whitney Cummings? Is that her name?
Yeah.
I started watching some of that, and I didn't get through it. But this was like a year ago.
I didn't get through it. He talks like he's crawling through the desert, and he's out of the canteen, like his water's run out. You know what I mean?
Well,
what's next? She's talking about a period. Oh!
He starts cutting up open the camel. He's going to live inside of it.
I think it was her. I think it was her.
Like those fucking... What was it in Star Wars? Who cuts open the...
The tauntauns.
Where are they up to? She's having sex with her boyfriend.
Something about vaginal discharge.
You see him just start crawling out the anus.
Like Ace Ventura.
Ace Ventura styles. Just sweating from head to toe naked.
Okay. Let's just calm down, please. Please. Okay. But that's what they say. They say that, like Amy Schumer, did you ever get through her shit?
Nope.
Look at his face.
That's one of the biggest regrets of my life.
What?
It was bad. It was just no fun. It was not funny. There was a joke, I think, towards the end that kind of it garnered a chuckle. But I can't remember. This was years ago now.
I'd love to see him in the audience of these things. Everyone's quiet. No one's laughed. And then towards the end, she says something remote, like mildly funny. And he's like, just in the audience, that's it. Everyone else is silent.
No, everyone else, me. Like, everyone's silent. Everyone's just like,
and it reverberates through the theatre. All right, we're done taking the shit. Seriously. No, but honestly. Look, that one, the Hannah Gadsby.
Look, I've seen some,
I watched like 4 minutes of something, and I was like, "This isn't funny."
To me, it sounded like
just talking about her life. Like, it's not actually jokes.
It was like like there was a line where she was going on about how like she still had her grandmother asked if she had a boyfriend yet, and she realized that was the one person I hadn't come out to yet.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. And then, exactly. The laugh track made it sound like the crowd was slapping their knees.
South Park watching Tony Stone videos, just falling out of their chairs.
And then
who slaps their knee when they laugh? Like, can you picture it? That was a rib tickler. Okay, sorry. Continue.
No, and then that's like another 4-minute bit about like the right man's around the corner, and then she's like, if he's around the corner, then I'm going to approach every corner very carefully.
Okay.
I'm like,
I think
they're just falling flat. And I'm like, they're not funny.
Yeah. There's no. Yeah.
Chappelle's comments.
What kind of punchline is that?
Exactly.
He actually calls out the punchline.
Yeah.
What kind of punchline is that?
Fucked.
Nothing. His 3 rules to meet up. Chappelle said that he was happy to...
that's right. Yeah,
he said that he would talk to the trans people, like, debating him.
Yeah.
They had to meet him at his terms, like at his place. 2, they had to watch his special from start to finish. And 3, they had to admit that Hannah Gadsby wasn't funny. Just a troll, man.
See, like, I think it was this year, he won an Emmy or was it last year? He got an Emmy for one of his shows, one of his stand-ups. And he comes out and he goes, I want to thank he's saying, like,
he thanked his mother.
He says, thank you to everyone else that was nominated, Hannah Gadsby and all these other people. And then he turns into the camera and he goes, this is proof that you critics know F all. So F you and, like, whatever. And then he just, like, takes his Emmy and walks off. Because a lot of this stuff is drummed up by critics and, media who just, want to get the clicks.
It's not even just comedy, though. And I don't mean to, like, I don't want to dive off this subject, but it's not just comedy. Like, reviewers and anyone that's writing anything about something in a review style, it's all bad. Really bad now. No matter where you go, no matter if it's comedy, a TV series, a movie, a game, whatever it is, they're all terrible. Like, people look way too past what they're seeing and writing the most rubbish content.
But look at, if you're like, you look at, is it Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah.
You look at Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic.
Metacritic, yeah.
Those two
Reviews.
Mediums, thank you. Two mediums. It's like the critics and the community, the people who actually consume all the media, the comment, the stuff. And it's very clearly nowadays you'll see the critics love it and the actual people who consume it loathe it. They hate it. And then if the community loves it, the critics hate it.
Yeah.
So it's showing like an imbalance where they're completely out of touch. They don't realise what the people actually want, and that's why you're getting more of this stuff, because a lot of these studios and production companies and game development and movie, and I don't know so much about, it's mostly games and movies, TV shows, they're just going off whatever the critics are saying, ignoring the actual consumer, reviews.
That Hannah Gadsby, I remembered what it was that I actually saw on TV, and I can't remember if it was just random Netflix, like fast forwarding, whatever, or maybe it was just on TV and I just turned something on, like, channel, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was in the middle of one of her specials or one of her bits where I found a review just now that talks about that actual bit, basically addressing her critics that call her a lecturer, right? She whips out, like, a projector and sets up all these art slides from, like, classical painting works of, like, naked women and, like, random scenes.
Yeah.
And she starts commenting on the random scenes, like, oh, look what's going on here. She's doing this, and look what's going on here. She's doing that, whatever, right? I remember watching that for about 5 minutes or whatever, and I'm just like, this isn't funny. Like, as in, if that's the standard of comedy that gets you a special on Netflix, I was just like, wow. Like, there's got to be someone funnier than this that you could put up.
But let's be honest, comedy has been under attack for years now, and the comedy medium, comedy in itself has been watered down a lot as what's actually funny nowadays. Because comedy is supposed to be counter, what do you call it?
Counterculture.
Counterculture. But it's all pre-culture now. A lot of it.
Yeah.
So the stuff that we're dying from laughter, that we like watching our Bill Burrs, our Dave Chappelle's, our Norm Macdonald's, our Ricky Gervais.
I went on a Norm Macdonald spree the last month, man. I couldn't. That battle axe thing where he's talking about his wife, I legit watched that at least I'd watch it every day, and I'd watch it like 5 times in a row every day. It's just, wait, what a battle axe. Hang on, let me just finish what I was saying about this review, yeah? Look, this is its contrast. I watched this bit, and I've watched all types of comedy, okay? And I've watched this bit, and I'm like, there's nothing actually funny about what she's saying. She's just making some quips about this projection.
Yeah.
And it's not even, like, well thought up, or, like, there's no, I don't know, it just seems like a crass comment to make about, like, some artwork, like, to get a cheap laugh. Like, okay, remember, like, we've grown up watching, like, people like Jerry Seinfeld, who are, like, comedy purists. Comedy purists, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Jerry Seinfeld always said that crude language, like, he's got no problem with it. Like, I've heard him swear. It's not about that. But he goes, for me, it's just a cheap way to get a laugh.
Yeah.
It's like junk food.
Yeah.
So I've grown up with purists, but then I've watched George Carlin and Richard Pryor, that are full, like, F-bombers and all that. So I've seen both sides, you know. I've watched that thing with these slides where she's just making comments about these photos and just getting these canned laughs from the audience. I'm like, okay, that's not funny. Then I switched it off because I'm like, if this is what it is, I'm done.
Yeah.
Dude, this is what it says in the review here about it, right? She whips out a projector remote and begins clicking through various classical art slides. That wasn't a lecture. This is a lecture. And then she launches into an illuminating and humorous deluge of paintings of what she calls women dancing naked in groups of three in a forest. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. You know, and then she's like, you know, she's having way too much fun pointing out the very odd butt crack placement of a linen sheath. Who knew Tishin could be funny? Gatsby did. It's a little highbrow. So it's a little highbrow for some people, but it's still comedy. Damn funny comedy at that.
Sounds like a TED Talk.
Dude, it wasn't funny. Like, I'm being dead set honest. It was not funny in any way and had no place as a Netflix special that people pay money. Like, I couldn't imagine being an audience member in there.
I've never heard of her, and I just tried to Google her to see if I can recognize her face. And the first thing that came up was all Dave Chappelle. So I still don't know what she looks like.
Dude, she was never going to be more famous. That she had the best, like the most recognized, celebrated comedian of.
Oh, but like, yeah, she's right. Like, she's what do you call it? Like rising star for comedy at the moment. Apparently, I had never heard of her up until now.
This is the first time I've heard of her. Right here. I don't know.
Hang on, man. Like, I'm just reading. It's the same special. I'm just reading another review, and it just says the big reveal is that she's autistic.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, she doesn't look autistic.
Who cares?
Yeah.
No, but like, who cares?
But that
how is that like anything to do?
Do you know what?
That goes into the pro column.
Do you know what's really interesting? Elon Musk has Asperger's.
Yeah.
That's more interesting.
Yeah.
Because the man's changing the planet.
Yeah.
This chick is trying to make comedy, and she's not funny. That's not an achievement. That's a failure.
There's a video. Yeah, there's a video on. I saw it last night, and someone they're interviewing him. He's doing like a speech on stage or whatever, and some woman tries to like put him on the spot. How come you're not? Why are you only hiring Americans only? When will the day come that Tesla will hire non-Americans?
Isn't he South African?
Yeah, but he's he's probably American citizen now. I don't know. And everyone's clapping like yeah. And then he just lets everyone die their clap die up. And he's like, well. It's actually not up to us. It's actually to the American government because everything we do is would actually come under like the military because it's rocket science.
Yeah.
And rocket science comes under like military, which is part of the American branch. So therefore, I have no say over who gets hired. It's purely up to the American government, and they want all Americans. You know, and everyone's like, oh. You know, everyone's like,
if it was up
just
to me,
puts her in a play. Like,
if it was up to me, I'd have 80 Ukrainians and 3 Chinese, and it would be done. The whole project would be sorted in a week.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yes,
man.
no worries.
Well, you said that
nuclear power, don't worry about it.
You saw that thing about how the China launched that like hypersonic rocket?
No.
Yeah.
It moved that fast that apparently the American government couldn't react fast enough to it.
Wait, it moved?
It moved that fast that the American, like the whoever, they couldn't track it.
China.
It was just
It was so fast.
China
then
rocket launch.
It's put hypersonic rocket, and it broke.
Just test fired a massive solid fueled rocket.
It went into orbit or something.
I don't know,
like
but
really fast.
I just like they said America couldn't react quickly enough to it, so they were like if they were to attack, put like
classified satellite declared lost.
A specific type of warhead on it.
I keep seeing headlines about China set to like attack someone.
Taiwan,
yeah.
Like actually
Sad
bomb them
time.
into the ground, or
they're prodding them. They're prodding and picking.
It's a Hong Kong China thing, basically.
Yeah.
Think of it that way.
So Taiwan, I'm going to come out and say it. So Taiwan,
Oh boy. Oh boy.
when there was
Oh boy.
So when the revolutionists took over in China,
you never want him starting a sentence with revolutionists.
the Communist Revolutionist Party took over China, the official Chinese government fled to Taiwan. So China can't let Taiwan exist because Taiwan represents the official Chinese government that still exists, the official democratic government. And so they tried to attack Taiwan, I think it was after World War II.
And just to be clear, we are saying that that's the OG for people who aren't so well versed.
What's that?
What do you mean, OG?
They're the OG government, basically.
Yeah, so
Think
that's
of it
the
that way.
original government.
Yeah.
So say if there was a revolution here in Australia, and basically communists took over, and the Australian, like...
This is great.
This is fantastic.
We're back in the swing, boys.
Yes.
Saluting.
And so let's say the Scotty...
He's gone.
Let's say...
You all right, man?
I just keep picturing all these Asians in the background just singing randomly. Like a wing just shows up.
So let's say commies take over here in Australia.
Yep.
And ScoMo flees to...
Well, apparently they have.
Well, ScoMo flees to Tasmania, right? They set up the Australian government there.
He's just, what is he laughing
He's just
at?
lost it.
What are you laughing at now?
Go.
He's talking about ScoMo.
Yeah.
You're pointing at me. I didn't do
Damn
anything.
commies.
Damn commies. So ScoMo flees to Tasmania, all right? They set up Tasmania land. It's a new Tasmania land. It's the Republic of Australia still. Well, Australia's not a republic, sorry. But you flee to Tasmania, set up a country. The whole of Australia, except for Tassie, is all communist. And then Tassie is the original democrat country that
Before
still
the
exists.
takeover,
Before
yeah.
it was taken over. That's what it is. That's what Taiwan and China is. So imagine then in 70 years' time, Australia, the communist country, decides, all right, we want Tasmania back because we want to incorporate it back into our land. But that's still the original government.
Yeah.
That's what's happening
Yeah.
in Taiwan and China. So they tried to take over Taiwan, I think it was just after World War II. And America set up an entire fleet in between them. I think they bombed the crap out of every plane and everything that kept trying to go forth. It was a blockade. And so China just gave up on it. And that's it. And now, it's just, convenient.
And
they're just
China's
briding now.
made it clear that anyone that gets in the way will get bombed.
Yeah.
You'll get destroyed if you get in the way.
And so they're prodding. They're flying over Taiwanese airspace.
Is
they're
anyone going to do
ships.
anything?
Well, the only people that would do something would be America and maybe Britain.
But we'll go to war.
Yeah, it will.
Like
be a
they've
war.
made it clear, we'll go to war.
Yeah, because they can't allow Taiwan to exist still. Because it represents what
They were,
and they can't accept that.
I can't have that.
Okay.
And to a degree, what they are.
You picture like a round table and a mouse like on one end. Xi Jinping's on one end, with a big Mao poster in the back.
Yeah.
And there's just some dude wearing jeans and like a checkered shirt representing Taiwan. I was like, hey, look, man, just let us go. I mean, we're having a good time. We're providing money. Like, relax. I can't have that. And it just pushes a button.
I think it was
The anthem starts again.
walking off in the distance with the explosion in the background. I think it was Eric something Cantor. He's an NBA player, and he just came out like 3 days ago, and he says Taiwan is a country. Tibet should be an independent country. China should just think, and as consequences, China has come out and banned. I think he plays for the Celtics. Banned every single game the Celtics play from all their streaming services in China.
Maniacs.
They really,
They're just, dude, no holds barred, man. Zero tolerance. We don't give a shit.
Yeah.
At some point, I thought, and I'm sure I'm still wrong on this, but I thought that
I know you're wrong. I don't even know what you're going to say. I'm guaranteed.
I thought the
I'm
people,
doubling down. You're wrong.
the citizens in China, I thought they were more level-headed than the government, but over time, I'm seeing more like citizens, individual people who are speaking out about it all in favor of the Chinese government. And like at some point, you got to think, okay, all of China's billionaires are going missing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that guy that got kidnapped for like how long?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then he comes back and he's like, "I love China." Right?
I just love it.
Seriously,
Capitalism.
He literally he was the Elon Musk. He's the dumber version, but he's the Elon Musk of China,
Let's
right?
take go with that big head.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know his
the
name.
founder of Alibaba.
Yeah, I always forget his name.
How is he a dumber version? Alibaba made billions.
He spoke one-on-one with Elon Musk, and the guy has no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah, but this is
Elon Musk is like, this
Elon
is-
Musk is a working algorithm. He just literally just siphons
No, but
everything.
like Musk would ask him a question, and he'd be like, and he'd just rant off onto nothing, and then Musk would just like chuckle in his seat.
Was he stoned?
No, he's just got a big head. And yeah, he comes back after going missing for 4 months, doesn't tweet, and he tweeted every day.
Yeah.
and goes missing and then comes back and he's like, I love China. And it's happening with all of them. All the millionaires, billionaires of China just disappearing, coming back and being like, we love China. Don't talk down to China.
So apparently, like, in China, there's like 1% of the population is like the party.
So then who's the rest?
John
Everybody.
Cena.
No, it's just like...
Oh, sorry.
John Cena!
John Cena! Look at this guy. It's a bird.
I can't get over what he's doing. I just can't. I can't get over his involvement in it all.
Yeah.
Can I just ask, how could anyone confuse Superman for a bird or a plane?
Because in a distance.
No. Like, he's got blue and red jocks and tights. I mean, he's got a freaking cape. Like, unless you thought it was Dracula.
You're reading too much into it again, Tim.
No, but just
It's a little hair flick.
in the sky. Look, is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's John Cena. Anyway, continue.
No. So, like, 1% of the population is, the party, like, the actual Communist Party. And so they just exert that much influence. They, they'll, if they see that you're like a person who's up and coming and has potential, they'll recruit you. And then basically you could be a person going into like some, whether it's a corporate industry or industrial or whatever. And so that's how they get it, because, anyway.
I'm just surprised that the individual people are so black and white.
Nah, look, you can't be because you're forgetting it's China.
Yeah.
It's not Melbourne. People here are black and white, and it pisses me off. No, like, I'm serious. Like, people in especially our communities, the woke communities, they're black and white as shit. Like, there is no grey area.
Don't go there.
I'm not going there.
Oh, I feel like we're heading there.
I don't need to go there because what I just said stands. I don't expect any arguments from anyone. I'm just saying. We're in Melbourne and people are black and white. Why wouldn't they be black and white in China? Where they have no free internet. They have no free press. They have nothing. Yeah.
Well, that's true. Like, there's like constantly people who are going to North Korea and they go on these tours, and the people that are talking, like, they will not talk bad about the country, the president.
Look behind the iron curtain. People starving.
But that's it's what they show. But what I'm getting at is there's a lot of people that are brainwashed, or they've grown up knowing nothing else, so they're indoctrinated in that.
Yeah, you don't have to go to China to be indoctrinated, man. What was I going to bring up? Did you see that Muppet in America, that right-wing commentator, talk about how we need to be...
There's many of them. You got to be specific, man.
I know. She just came out, like, over the last 24 hours, and she goes that we need to be invaded to be saved from our, like...
What's her name?
No. Oh, fuck.
I've been trying to back off the news a little bit.
No, it's ridiculous.
That wasn't serious. That was a joke.
No.
It was a joke.
Dude!
It was a joke.
Wasn't it on Fox?
It was a joke. She's that...
Yeah, no one jokes on Fox, right?
What's her name?
Hang on.
No.
Yeah.
Oprah Winfrey.
No, what's her name?
Oprah Winfrey.
I've gone blank.
Why would you say Oprah Winfrey?
Because that's the only black women I can think of.
Hang on.
The thing is,
Wait, she's black? She's not black.
No, that's the Aussie one on the
that's
studio,
Susie,
on the project.
That's Susie Youssef, the bird that blocked us.
Oh, did she block us?
Yeah, this was years.
There, Candace Owens.
Candace Owens.
That's her name.
She blocked us years ago. Haven't I told you the story about that?
No.
Damn, and I really wanted her to keep unblocked.
Dude.
Well, I'll be boycotting all her content going forward.
Speaking of female comedians in Australia, she's one of them. She's not funny.
I didn't know she was a comedian.
Oh, she's a comedian. Sorry. My bad.
No.
I'm funnier than her already.
Dude, four odd years ago, probably more.
Yeah.
I used to follow her on social media when she was starting to build up because she was sort of in that scene that I was following at that time. And she'd put up a photo on Instagram of like her and her dad or her uncle in front of like a brick house. Tan sort of look to the photo, like brown, double like brick veneer, you know what I mean? Like somewhere in Coburg or something. And she's like, oh, me in the 80s, as a kid. And I put up a comment and I said something like, I think every WOG has that photo in their photo album, right? The bricks, the older.
And she
blocked me
for that.
So I tweeted her. I said, "What the fuck, man? Like, are you serious? We've got the monopoly on like WOG jokes now."
Yeah.
And then she blocked me on Twitter. Then I followed. Then I hit her again.
What is she? Is she
Lebo.
Lebo.
Lebo or Egyptian? I can't remember. Yeah. Something like that.
And we're really looking forward to those nuclear subs in a few decades, by the way. But we didn't know just how concerned you were about us until now.
What's actually happening under the guise of this virus is federal overreach, tyranny.
I hate the way they talk.
Totalitarianism, the kind that gives birth to evil dictatorships and human atrocities.
Wait, is this your background music?
No.
As far as I can tell, is a passionate pro-gun Trump supporter who believes white nationalism isn't that big a deal. Claims the US election was rigged and announced she'll never get the COVID vaccine. But her biggest worry? Australia's lockdown laws.
You're not allowed to drink or eat while standing up anywhere. Must scan a QR code to go everywhere, literally everywhere, including toilets. No dancing anywhere.
She may be thinking of Footloose there.
Dancing? There's no dancing, right? That's right. What? It's illegal.
But the more Candice read about Australia's lockdowns, the more she realised there was only one possible solution.
When do we invade Australia and free an oppressed people who are suffering under a totalitarian regime?
Candice may not always know where the camera is.
You haven't seen this?
She has a point.
Oh, I'm glad I haven't, but now you've showed me, so...
Yeah.
Now I want to kill myself.
She literally she compared our lockdown laws to America invading Afghanistan to liberate them from the Taliban. That's the comparison.
I mean,
like, America's like the smartest and the dumbest country in the world, and I just don't get that.
So the thing about America is, you have to understand so like here in Australia, we don't have a charter of like specific human rights that they have over their freedoms.
Like from like 400 years ago. Yeah.
Okay, so that's why this is a country that was built specifically on these, what do they call them? Amendments? No.
The Ten Commandments?
No. What's it called?
The amendments.
Yes, it is the amendments.
No, the amendments is what you're...
What are they called?
Freedoms.
Let's go with that.
The Bill of Rights. Yeah.
So an amendment is what they amended it to.
Yeah.
So they said, this was wrong.
So it's a warped country where basically, like, everything that's on these Bill of Rights is as if it's the commandments. It's built in stone. It's written on stone. It can't be changed. So
until they made the amendments.
Yeah, until
the changes?
These changes. But anything on these Bill of Rights, you cannot get rid of them. So, freedom of speech,
right to bear arms. Freedom of religion. I don't know. I only know those three. I can't remember the rest. Yeah. Anyway.
No one knows the rest. I think everyone knows only those.
You can't drive a pickup truck on a Sunday. I don't know.
Can't combine meat and milk.
It's not kosher.
The American Bill of Rights is back.
But so this is a country that has this. It's like warped where it's like.
Can you imagine some guys driving down past an area and they just get stopped along the street and be like, "What are you doing in a pickup truck on a Sunday? We don't take kindly to your top around here.
What do you got in there, that pickup? I'm seeing a sloppy Joe with a milkshake."
Stupid. Continue.
Yeah, we got ourselves one of them self-hating Jews. Anyway,
it just takes me back to the Chappelle episode where he's black and blind. What an episode!
Bixby, whatever his name, Clayton Bixby.
Yeah. And he takes off his hood in front of the KKK, and all their heads explode.
Man, anyway, I love that.
Continue.
It's just like it's a country. It's a unique warped country in the sense it's good and bad in both senses because you literally can do what you want, but at the same time you
get shot for doing it.
You get shot for doing it, but then also
you get a common cold and you die. You can't afford penicillin.
Stay back! Sneeze! I'm the baby, bitch!
They take the word democracy at face at full as if it's a religion in itself,
D is for the gun sound my gun makes when I shoot you.
Yeah, it is.
E is for the gun sound my gun makes when I shoot you again.
It's if I had the description, the description of capitalism and democracy in a dictionary, America would be both, that's the definition. And so, therefore, anything like that is outside of their realm or sphere, they apply that to us, even though we're not. And that's why you see a lot of Aussies here, like, oh, I've got freedoms and rights and stuff here, but they're thinking like they've got the rights that America has, but we don't.
Yeah.
We have no freedom of speech here.
The funniest part, like I've said this to a few people, like if you think it's so great in America, remember that time when your grandmother got sick and she went to the hospital and she stayed there for like a year and then you didn't pay shit? Imagine if she had to just get thrown into the street. Would you like that? Or what about when the pandemic came and you got $400 every week to sit at home? How about you got jack shit and you just sat in your house or you went outside and died?
No, they're at the protest during that time.
What?
No? They're at the protest during that time.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, don't even get me started. Did you hear that last drop that I did on my own?
Oh, I've been cackling.
Really?
I've been listening to the shower specifically. Like,
what? Why?
Cackling.
Why?
Because I need something to listen to in the shower.
Why?
So I've been playing those on repeat, mind you.
The sound of my voice echoing through
No, it's just the rage.
You know that's a time.
The rage in it. I just... Because I've got little
Oh my goodness!
I've got one of those soaps with pieces of pepper in it that to exfoliate. So as I listen to you and you rage up, I'm just scrubbing hard, and I'm trying to get rid of the aggression. It feels good.
No, but was I wrong?
No,
was I wrong?
I've got to listen to it.
Okay.
I haven't heard it yet.
I'm shy of doing something in the shower.
Something. Who does? He has one of those like what's the Punisher's real name? It's
Frank Castle, isn't
That's it, Frank Castle. Like a real Frank Castle moment where he like picks up a newspaper article in the paper of like the people that killed his kids 10 years ago, crumples it, and then just like see him loading up with guns, getting into a ute. No, look, my whole thing with the fucking protests, man, like I'll start again. Like I'll summarize.
Wait, you took us there.
I'm sorry.
You took
I
us
didn't
there.
want us to go
What
there.
are you doing?
Finish your story.
All right, finish your story.
All right, anyway. So
Moving on.
Move along.
No. Look, the whole thing look, I'm all for people protesting, okay? If you don't like something you can protest, go ahead. Okay?
But
when there's a pandemic,
there's always a but.
When there's a pandemic and people are literally getting hospitalized, what is this? Continue. No. What makes no sense, all right, this is the thing that makes no sense, okay? We've all been in lockdown for over 260 days. All right? Literally the most locked down city in the world. Gyms have been shut for 365 days plus. They were the first to get shut down.
Yep.
Right? A year ago, I was working within the construction industry. I was working for a company that literally is built around the construction industry. A year ago, Dan Andrews got so much flack because they said he was protecting his union mates by leaving construction open for as long as possible. They got slowed, all right? They were forced to maintain lower numbers and crap like that. But he got slammed because it's like Dan Andrews is protecting his mates in the unions. That's why construction's going and we all else have to suffer, blah, 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 blah. Dude, construction was literally the last industry to be shut down. And it got shut down for 2 weeks. Everyone that got stood down in construction last year got paid to get stood down. I know this because I didn't get stood down, but all the techs and stuff that work for the company that I was in, they all got stood down. They were at home on holidays, getting paid.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah. Nothing. Finally, after 230 odd days, Dan Andrews says, nah, like the cases are starting to go nuts in construction because no one's adhering to the rules. We need to shut it down, even for 2 weeks, just to get ahead of this spread. Can't do this. Rah, rah, rah. They take to the streets. They desecrate the shrine. They're pissing on the shrine, of all things. Like, what has the shrine got to do with anything? They're screaming, lest we forget, like it means anything. Dude, that's an Anzac Memorial. Like, what are you doing?
Because they're comparing what they're going through to...
Exactly,
yeah,
right?
Which makes no sense.
It's like, hang on, soldiers of fortune. Where were you last year when all the baristas, when all the, gym owners, when everyone got shut down and sent home with no pay?
Yeah.
Where were you? You weren't out in the streets. You were enjoying your kickback, or you were still working. It's just now, after a year, your toys have been taken away for 2 weeks and you're losing your fucking marbles. Because you've been told to QR code and wash your hands. Like, are you serious?
Just wear your mask.
Wear your mask.
I mean, I the amount of construction sites I go past, no one's wearing a mask.
Nah.
And still today, I've got one right next to me. No one wears a mask. But I had a neighbour like yelling at a group of guys, a female on her own. She's like, "Wear your bloody mask! Like, how hard is it?" And they're like, "We're exempt." She goes, "Bullshit!" She took a picture of all their faces.
How are you exempt? If anything, the mask's going to protect you from concrete dust and.
I've got a mate who literally lives on half a lung. He's an asthmatic, like bad asthmatic, and he lives on half a lung. Okay, he still doesn't have. He wears his mask. He's not exempt. He can barely breathe, and he wears his mask just fine.
That's like what I said at the start. Like the people that. All these people that are exempt, like, what makes them exempt? What is it? A skin rash? What is it?
No, usually it's something to do with anxiety. They don't like the feel of claustrophobia on their face.
I don't like the feel of someone strangling me, but it's still going to happen.
I'm an asthmatic with anxiety. Trust me, I've lost my shit over it, man. It's no excuse. Dude, I blocked and deleted someone that I wasn't entirely close with. It was just a random mate or whatever. And we got into it one night, like, I just over text, and I actually called them up and said, nah. Like, that's it. Okay, come and where are you going with this? Got into a massive, blue for an hour. And it's the most I'd spent arguing about it since the podcast got, shut down. Yeah? After an hour, basically got through to the lines of, masks don't work. It's all crap, la, la, la. And I went, your surgeon wears a mask. Okay, your oral hygienist wears a mask. Are you serious? Oh, it's hardly the same. I go, nah. I go, I'm done. Good luck with it all. And I just block, delete everything I had. Phones, social media. Yeah. I'm done. I don't want to hear it. Don't tell me that. If you don't think the virus is real, fine. That's up for contention. But don't tell me that PPE and masks do not work. Yeah. Because they've been literally around since forever.
They've been protecting our doctors and nurses.
Well before this thing. Dude, the woman that applies the chickenpox vaccine on you to kids would be wearing gloves and a mask. That's no joke. That's for real. You can't, and that's the thing, man. It's no, we're going to ignore all the scientists that have worked their entire fucking lives for the last 100 years because you read something on the internet.
Look, I don't disapprove some things that people say. Like, for example, some medicines, big pharma, are there to hurt people.
Yeah.
That's, we can all appreciate that that's a thing. Yeah. Okay? That happens. We know that happens. There's proof of it happening. But when something globally is happening, the interest is to keep people alive so that the other things can generate money, right? That makes the most sense to me when I think about it. They're not trying to kill you off now because you'd probably die from it regardless if you were sick or if you were immunocompromised or whatever. So why would they inject you with something that's going to kill you or track you? Hello? Anyway.
Oh, that's the other one.
Everything's on your phone.
My Twitter feed was on fire the last couple of weeks.
It's just I'm so sick of bouncing between the reasons, between the PPE, the virus not being real, the vaccine having chip, the vaccine killing you, the vaccine blood clotting you. Pick one. Which angle are you going with? Because people just drop it after 2 weeks and move to the next thing.
But that was the whole point. That's what pissed me off was the whole thing with the mental health thing. And they're like, people have killed themselves. The suicide numbers.
Not that many.
Suicide numbers are through the roof. Actually, no. Suicide numbers are down.
Yeah.
And you're only bringing up the suicide numbers now because you think it's going to be a means for you to get out back onto the street. Did you say anything about suicide numbers a year ago or 2 years ago or 3 years ago?
What about crime rate?
Have you ever donated to Beyond Blue or looked into any of that, working at the suicide helpline? No. You just want to use it as an angle to get out and go to the gym.
Yeah.
There's actually apparently a couple strains of influenza that have died.
Yes.
Really?
I've seen that. We've actually stamped out majority of the flu.
Yeah. A couple strains. I don't know majority of, but I heard a couple strains that died.
The majority?
Yeah. Okay.
Of the current variants of flu, sorry. Yeah. We've stamped out a lot of it.
The Spanish one's still floating around.
There was a little Spanish.
Even the common cold. All that bacteria is
because you can't
spread it.
You're just not, so
it can't stay alive.
There's people not licking their fingertips and
the other one
counting
was
cash with it anymore and then handing it to you.
Yeah. The other one was the national ID. Have you done that? Have you done your COVID QR ID thing?
I'm only on my
Mike
first
Love or whatever. He's nodding.
Reluctantly, I did.
Yeah, I did it as well.
Yeah,
right.
I don't have it.
Everyone's complaining about that.
Why?
Because it's a form of national ID.
And?
Exactly. No, I don't have I know. The national ID, is an issue. But also the fact that it shows your medical history on there, in a way, technically.
Yeah.
So for you to get it, like not to get it, but like basically to activate it, you got to provide your certificate. Your certificate shows that you're vaccinated.
Right.
By showing that you're vaccinated, you're showing people your medical history.
And?
Well, that's the point. Should that be kept private?
That's private.
Why?
Because it's nobody's business.
I mean, we get vaccinated at birth. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, but no, it's specifically to this.
Yeah.
So rather than just be like an open passport, like say, yes, you can come in for whatever reason.
I mean, people ask me if I've got the flu vaccine every year. What am I supposed to say? None of your fucking business.
What's up to you? Yeah, I never question the sex exchange.
Well, I mean, like, let's say,
excuse me.
Let's say, would you like to have an up-to-date history of how many miscarriages you might have on your phone to show to people?
You know how much I don't care.
No, but that's what it is.
What?
You're literally, in order to activate the ID, you can upload points of ID to start off with, so you can link your passport, your driver's license, which is good because it provides 100 points of ID.
Yeah.
On your, so you don't have to get fucking
in one central.
Yeah, exactly. And from that, you can link, your Centrelink, your Social Security, your ATO, your medical history, Medicare, all that sort of stuff, which is good. But what it does is that it essentially opens up the thing that your entire medical history will be accessed by.
What's the gripe with that?
Because I don't need, the bar owner to know whether or not my missus had a miscarriage.
Oh, wait. So anyone can see it?
Theoretically.
How?
It's a grey area. It's miseducation, man. That's the thing. They've been very rushed about it. I don't think they've launched it properly. Because a lot of people don't actually know what it is.
Wait, so you're saying about the QRs, and if you scan a QR, then someone has access to your medical history?
So when you scan it and you check in, it actually has your name, and then underneath there's a little green tick
that says you've been vaxxed.
Yeah.
But that's the point. Whether you've been vaxxed or not isn't the issue. What it should say is you're good to go.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. Maybe you've been exempt. Maybe you've been vaxxed. Whatever the hell the reason is, it should just say you're good to go. It shouldn't say that you've been vaxxed. That's the gripe. And
it's more of an ethical issue.
Yeah, I agree with that. But the thing is I started seeing people sharing and resharing all this shit about national ID and then bringing up, the Antichrist and bringing up communism and a social system, like the social point system in China. Like, this is the next step. They're going to get us on social points now as well. And I literally tweeted, over 100 countries in the world have a national ID system. The Australian government in 2021 is implementing a national ID system, a digital ID. Big deal. Carrying around, and I wrote, carrying around a photo from your third birthday, 6 utility bills over a 4-year period, and an expired Video Easy card is a much better way to provide 100 points of ID. That's not a bad thing.
Great examples.
Dude, having a national ID system is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
And I had a chat with my mate old Simo about this, yeah? And he said he doesn't see the point of it because, everyone has a passport.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
And I said, well, no, not everyone. I have a role where I verify people's ID all the time.
Yeah.
And not everyone has a passport.
I often forget to renew my passport.
Because I've met so many people that have never left the suburb they grew up in. So what happens? Do they get marginalised and segregated because they didn't have a passport? They weren't fortunate enough to travel? Some people don't have driver's licenses.
Yeah.
Some people, and it's like, what do you do in that case? Well, everyone has a birth certificate. Not necessarily.
Can you find it?
Some people don't have birth certificates. Some people don't know who's on.
But I mean, that's not an excuse in itself because all these things can be acquired.
No, they can. A stat deck to prove a birth certificate can be acquired. But if we have a national ID system like every other country, like Greece does, it literally provides
it's a central hub, right, of information.
Yeah,
but how would that be any different from acquiring that to any of those other IDs?
Because not everyone has a passport.
Yeah, but to get that, you have to do stuff, don't you?
To get a passport, you need to pay.
Yeah, to get a national... No, I'm not talking about the money. I'm talking about to get the ID, you have to do things to get it.
It's official verification,
Yeah, you have to go through the process of acquiring things or going and standing in a line and asking, can I get my birth certificate? Okay, thank you. Can I go, learn to drive? Can I go get a passport? You get in line and you just go and do it.
Arguably, people go to learn to drive and still don't.
I'm confused. Where are you going with this?
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Oh, sorry.
And then to get a national ID means that you have to put the same steps in line. You still have to go out of your way to get this national ID.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay, but the difference is the passport and shit would all cost money.
Yeah, everything costs money.
Okay, but a passport is different, man. A passport actually costs a lot more than just getting a national ID sorted.
Yeah, no, but what I'm getting at is, like, money isn't the excuse. It can't be, because people pay rent, people pay things, they pay for petrol, they pay for groceries.
Some people don't. Some people live on government subsidies their entire lives.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I understand that.
So how's someone on government subsidies meant to pay for a passport?
I don't know.
So you're saying that if you can't afford to buy a passport, then you don't deserve a national ID? As in to be
No, I'm not
recognised?
saying that at all, but what I'm saying is, if something has to be done, it'll be done.
Yeah, I think you're oversimplifying it.
No.
Just the indifference. Just you're such a scumbag. There's Mussolini at the balcony. You know what I mean?
There's the proof of age card, which costs what, like $30
Proof
to
of age
get.
card isn't top form of ID.
I know, but it's still an alternative that you can use if you don't have like a driver's license, passport.
Not at the highest levels.
No,
Man.
not at the
You
highest
need
levels,
you
but it
need
can be
multiples.
used. Yeah, yeah.
But that's the point of squashing all that and just having a national ID, centralising it all. It makes everyone accountable for everything. There's no form of like he went under the radar and disappeared. Speaking of which,
he was a lone wolf. We don't know how he got to that stage.
They called him the Galloping Gazelle.
Until one fateful day.
Feeding on the ends of an tundra. Stopped in his tracks by a big cat named Wing.
Shashevsky.
Frozen tundra of Soldier Field. For 6 seasons and 2 Pro Bowls, he grazed on the tasty green turf of the
I just love that noise. It just kills it.
Stopped in his tracks by a big cat named Wayne Shashevsky.
Shashevsky.
What a name, man! I love the name, Wayne Shashevsky. What's my fake name?